Dear guests, colleagues, peers, students, friends, it's an honor. I'm really pleased to be here today. I hope I can use this 30 minutes to infuse you the journey of leadership. So, I think most of people will remember this special year, 2025, except for Peggy. She has done well. Great brand awareness, sales results, so she has it all. But for most of us, I think we would like to move on to the 2026. We hope we have a new start. But it's always in such a difficult moment we find a true leader. The leadership is not a term. It is a verb with full of actions. The leading the team from stress, from the mess to the success. And that's the most important thing. Each leader has a different style, and they are managing different business situations and environment. As I'm teaching now, I was lucky to bring the group of students. My first project is to bring them to Japan. We had 16 lectures, visits, seminars, workshop, and exhibitions. So I was lucky enough to witness, probably from the school, the entrepreneurs that were opening up, and they talk about their success, and sometimes their problems as well. It was absolutely a good moment for me to learn and absorb, and that's the reason why I would like to share with you some leadership journey of these companies. From the 90s, Japan was the leader of the luxury market in the world, represented more than 30% of the market share. Then you all know what happened after 1997. Not saying that they are better than us, it's just that they had ahead of us the problems. Economic downturn, the saturations of market, business stagnations, aging populations problem. They're exactly what we're facing today in Greater China. Then Japan was booming, again since end of 2023. Of course, the currency, the devaluation of currency is important. However, there's something more. Japan is the rare region where our major luxury groups posted double-digit growth for the past 2 years. This performance offsets slower growth of Greater China and other regions. It wasn't pure luck. They had vision. They have planned this move since 2013. The project Cool Japan transformed the whole country in a cultural powerhouse. For that, a leader, they will need to have a clear vision and the ability to move the whole country to the same direction. A former CEO of my company once told me that to be a true leader, one should have the ability to move a victory to another. To be confident, but not arrogant. Knows how to macro manage and micro audit. These 4 important elements are crucial for leaders, but it is quite difficult and paradoxical. How can you be traditional at the same time creative? And how can you maintain the quality at the same time, bit by bit, to innovate? It sounds very paradoxical, but this is the beauty of our business, the luxury fashion. Fun and crazy. The tradition rhymes with craftsmanship, heritage, and respect. To understand the modern Japanese fashion, we need to start with its roots. Japan has a long history of craftsmanship, especially in textile and traditional garments like kimono. The artisan guards traditions as a strategic compass, filtering every decision through core techniques. This approach ensures consistency and relevance, allow the art to evolve without diluting its identity. What is special when you see from far, the color is turned. But when you go closer, you discover the print and the motifs on the tissue are meaningful. Subtle, discreet, and elegant. That was the visit of Edo Komo. At the same time, we went to a smaller company. This company was created since 1977. They had the belief that they can do better. They focus on only one product, denim. By the way, it's French, from the town of Serge de Nîmes. But the Americans, they developed in the 19th century. They work hard with obsession. At the same time, with a lot of humility to learn from others. Today, with 57 stores in the whole world, they are proud and they are creating their own DNA and telling their stories of denim. I'm not going to reveal the name of this Japanese brand, as you all know which one he represents for. When you need clothes, you think of them. It was an audacious idea to invest on a pre-retired sportsman. Very audacious, of course, costly, $300 million with a 10 years contract. The company took the big risk because he's the synonym, but it paid off because he's the synonym of elegance, exclusivity, and sophistication. The brand elevate themselves. They internationalize their branding with a better awareness. Today, they work close together on different topics: philanthropy, education, sustainability, and even some commercial models to make some money. But also, another example is when I visited the high jewelry maison in Ginza. As Japan has a shortage of manpower, opening the labor market to the foreigners becomes a necessity. I was welcomed by a Russian at the reception, Vietnamese for the beverage, and a Venezuelan helped on the displays. Of course, there's nothing special to have foreign laborers. However, the brands, they're daring enough to hire some stand-up comedians, nurses, former athletes, even teachers like me. Japanese companies nowadays, they're not afraid to hire people from different horizons because the variety creates ruptures and culture shocks. But customers, they're mostly welcome and entertained. Then we visited Bunka Textile Lab. It uses open studio and instant consumer pools to externalize experimentation. Eiji Miyamoto-san is the responsible of Bunka Textile Lab. His drive and determination to drive for the quality is exceptional. He was spending time with students in explaining the fabrics and the models. You can see he was really happy, and it shows his own creations. He was proud and passionate. He is 76 years old and has performed the same tasks for decades. This disciplined approach ensures that excellency is scalable, driving long-term brand loyalty. And you must be curious, what Steve Jobs is doing here is not Japanese, but they share the same quality: disciplined, picky, and precise. If the quality of product doesn't meet their expectations, they will send them back to the suppliers. They cannot sleep Both of them, they cannot sleep when quality doesn't meet their expectation. They're picky, so picky that became friends. In fact, the turtleneck denim, the turtleneck shirt on Steve Jobs is the creation of Issey Miyake since 1981. We also visited this magnificent exhibition in Roppongi. This Tokyo-born art collective continues to revolutionize the experience of digital art. It's a precise collaboration of artists, programmers, engineers, computer graphic animators, mathematicians, and architects who refer themselves to the ultra technologists. They're widely considered as a groundbreaking fusion of art, technology, and immersive experiences. Breathtaking, incredible teamwork. We were amazed with this exhibition. But innovation doesn't always mean turning the world upside down. Sometimes it's about moving forward step by step, excelling, improving bit by bit, so that the good of today becomes the better of tomorrow. I was happy to see those posters on the street and think that the hotel service provider can transform into a cruise, movable cruise. And a boring train trip can provide extra service with good memories. As well, it also takes resilience in the face of different voices. Companies maintain innovation through a focus on long-term vision, continuous improvement. The Japanese call them kaizen. Well, we have the same words in Cantonese, 改善. So it is not difficult. All of that, these emotional connections become important in our business. To conclude, of course, I don't want to leave this presentation with a lot of words. I want to demonstrate a bit of best practice as well. It has been always a dream for me to perform in a big audience like this. There's a lot of people. When I was younger, I was always amazed by the aula from the sport ring and the stadium. So I'm gonna ask your help. I will ask you need to free your hand, if you can. So this move, that from the left to the right, that we need to see your hand first. So we're gonna do the aula together, starting from here, and then the movement is gonna go on the right, and we come back. So are you ready? So, aula, it goes there, and we come back, and again. Thank you very much. The real leaders knows how to conceptualize a crazy idea. And he knows how to communicate with efficiency and then interact actively with his audience. Of course, he knows how to motivate with empathy as well to create these emotional connections. For 20 seconds, I was the leader in the room. Thank you very much. My name's Andy, and I teach in Polytechnic of Hong Kong. Thank you.
Well, we've had an interesting morning. We've had a family portrait. We've had a football wave. I mean, there's lots of things happening. Okay, they're not going to move the podium. So, Andy, thank you for that fun presentation. I think he kept everybody awake, definitely. So I know you've spoken a lot about Japan, but I wanted to focus a little bit more on our region here, and specifically the Chinese market today, which is so different to what it was even just 2 years ago. I think it's become a lot more discerning, a lot more competitive. And I just wanted to ask you, what do you think are those big changes, and do brands need to adjust their expectations, especially when it comes to luxury consumption in China? How should they adjust their expectations?
Well, good question. That's the reason why I ran away. Now I'm a teacher. The thing is, the market changed a lot. the consumers evolve as well, particularly after the COVID. Before, it was more transactional, that we're looking for a price. If you still remember, a lot of people that they go to Korea, they go to France, and we hear a lot of this term, 代购. It disappeared today. Today, consumers, they're looking for something extra, more functional, and more added value. We're not looking for price, we're looking for values. We need the benefits, we need extra values for the products. And so it is more difficult for the brands. We hear from Peggy that they created special moments, intimacy, this one-on-one service. So I think we have to think more in terms of, as a retailer, as in the industry. We have to think further. I think we're a little bit behind from the consumers, because the consumers that today, they are very savvy, they're knowledgeable, and they want more.
I mean, there's so much out there. What exactly is driving their purchases? Is it still this focus on sustainability? Is it about culturally resonant offerings?
Well, you see, there's a lot of a paradox today that one side we hear the customers that they want one-on-one service, they want to have a privacy, but on the other hand, they want to be seen. They want to be on digital platform, on the social media. So it's very contradictory. It is very difficult for the brands to catch what the customers they want. But at least what I understand is sustainability, especially what I see from school now, the young Gen Z, they pay a lot of attention on that. And they want the value and they want the meaning of the brand story.
In your opinion, what brands in China are winning today, and what makes them stand apart from the rest? Because there is a lot out there, specifically Chinese brands.
Ooh, it's the area of my research, trying to find the luxury made in China. So I would say first, we start to see the platform, TikTok, Little Red Book, 小红书. We start with this, is more internationalized. And then we see Shein, this Chinese brand, this Chinese company. Actually, they don't have a brand story based on price and the speed and of their supply chain and the technology. And then, of course, we still do have a lot of well-known masters, Guo Pei. We have Wallace Chen, we have Anna Hu, we have Cindy Chow, all those real craftsmen. And I think it's just we don't see more, and we see more. Bernard Arnault with his team in September, they came to Shanghai, and they spent time to see Saumon and then Laopu Gold. So those are, I think, the Chinese brands, Asian brands, they are coming up in just a matter of time.
You mentioned Lapu. I'm curious, jewelry is a category, high jewelry is a category we've seen grown a lot in China. What are the other, categories you see that are gaining momentum? You've seen a movement towards quiet luxury as well in China with brands like Ruhan. But, what categories are growing, and, what are the Chinese counterparts doing better than their Western brands?
To be really honest, I think we still have a lot to catch up from the Europeans. But don't forget, 300 years ago, the epicenter of luxury was in China. The silk, the porcelains, and all the luxury items was from here. We need to tell more stories, and we need to preserve, and we need to be true on our craftsmen, our heritage. And all the elements that together, we don't copy the others, and we learn. I think just a matter of time, all the brands will come up, especially from here.
What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about the Chinese luxury market today?
From transactions that we think that we're still looking for products value for money. This is not the case anymore. We're looking for stories. We're looking from the brand identity, the DNA, especially how. I don't think today the price is the issue. is the value of the brand and what the creator that they stand for. It is important.
I read an article recently that said being a Chinese brand is considered cool again, especially amongst the domestic market. So when it comes to these Chinese brands, what more do they need to do in order for them to compete on an international scale?
Don't copy, be yourself. At the same time, I think in my presentation it was quite clear. Those 4 elements, it is quite important: tradition, creativity, quality, and innovation. Very difficult, but at the same time, complementary. That's the beauty, really, of the industry. How can we create and preserve the traditions, the craftsmanship, and at the same time maintain the quality, but bit by bit, go the extra mile.
Also, I just want to ask for some help with the iPad, because there were some questions for you from the audience, but they don't seem to be showing up. So can somebody help me find the questions? Yeah, because I know there were a few. But before I move on to that, while she's fixing it, what would be your best piece of advice for Chinese designers or brands looking to tap into, sorry, not Chinese brands, but any brand looking to tap into the Chinese market today, luxury or otherwise?
Chinese brand in China?
Any brand who wants to tap into China.
Yes. I think the brand value is the first thing that you have to come in with a story and something that you believe. Second, with strong financial support. It's costly. Yes. Don't think that it's easy. We have a big market and then we'll come easy. There's a lot of designers, what I see in Paris, when they present the collections, they put their key of a house to mortgage. And that's that kind of passion that they have. It's a big bet. So I don't think saying, oh, I'm a designer and I create my own company and it's going to be easy. No, it's nothing easy today in our industry, especially there's a lot of competitions today.
Okay, so I think we just have time for one question. International sales platforms and brands are exiting China. Net-a-Porter and high street brand Etam, for example, are exiting after many years. What do you think this is linked to?
Competitivity. I mean, Peggy is doing well. She's everywhere. I think today it connected a lot. I've done some research for the Japanese market. It's an evolution. I mean, for the past 20 years, we were following their pace. We see the luxury market is still gaining market share, is growing, but local brands is increasing. So I think some of the brands that they are exiting from the market is because taken over by the local grown-up brands that they are coming up, they're growing up. So it's pushing away if you don't have a real benefit.
But there is space for everybody. It's just having the right strategy, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Andre. We ran out of time, so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.